Hello everyone, my name is Layla, but you can call me Layla Bell, and here I am back with another story time. Now this is number 5, this is the 5th one, and this is the last one I'll be doing before the Christmas, holiday season, so you won't see me again until next year. But we're going to go ahead and read this story. Now the book is called The Christmas ABCs, but that's actually not the story that we'll be reading. In the back of the book is actually The Night Before Christmas, a story you've probably heard before that was written way back in the 1800s. And it's one that my grandma always used to read to me when I was little. Every single year on Thanksgiving, actually, she would pull this book out and read the story to me as kind of a start to the Christmas, or, the holiday season. And now I know there's kids out there, some of you watching at home maybe, who don't celebrate Christmas. Maybe you celebrate Kwanzaa, maybe you celebrate Hanukkah, or maybe there's a totally different holiday you celebrate. And I think that's really cool. I think that's perfectly okay. And, I hope that you don't think there's anything wrong with celebrating whichever holiday you celebrate. But I'm just going to be reading a Christmas book this year because, this year I've been on the hunt trying to find books about the other holidays, but I haven't found any that really were storytime material. So this year I'll just be reading a Christmas book, but maybe next year I'll read one of every holiday I can find. But anyway, hopefully you'll still sit around, or stay around to hear my story time anyway. Of course we're going to have our friend here, Pixel, from last week. The reason I decided to use her again for story time is because last week I was a little bit sick, so I don't think that story time turned out as perfect as I wanted it to. But, it was still fun. But we're gonna wake her up again for another story time. She's really happy to be awake. Hey again, Pixel. Alright, well, she'll be our friend for story time today. And there's actually another friend that I have here that you just don't see yet. Pixel, it would be nice if you would stop moving around so I could talk. Alright. Well, let me introduce you to our other friend here. This is Conan. And Conan is the smallest robot dog that I've ever seen, or at least the smallest one that can actually move and walk around. And he's going to say hello to everybody. He's all dressed up in his his holiday attire. And he's going to sit as well and listen to us with our story today. He actually has a mode where he can stay on my shoulder, so he won't be moving around too much. Not quite as much as Pixel here. Let's get started on our story. Now, of course, as I said, the book is called The ABCs of Christmas, but it's not actually, that's not actually the part I'm going to be reading. The part I'll be reading is A Visit from St. Nicholas. Now, of course, St. Nicholas is what they used to call Santa Claus back in the time when this story was written. And this story was written by Clement Clark Moore in 1823. Pixel, if you would stop making the same noise over again, that'd be really great. Alright. Alright, dog, please sit still. Look at how nice and still Conan is being. He's just sitting here on my shoulder. Alright. A Visit from St. Nicholas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care. Let's see. Can't even see the stockings in this photo. But in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mom in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Look at that, she's looking at something in the book. I'm not sure what she's looking at. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters. As you can see, the shutters are like, the windows, and threw up the sash. which the sash is the curtains, pretty much. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday objects below. As in, it was dark outside, but there was a little bit of light because of the moon. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, which they're also not in the photo. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. So, they're outside, sitting out here. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came. So, pretty much, I guess his coursers, like his drivers, would be the reindeer. And he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle and mount to the sky. So up to the housetop, the coursers they flew, as in Santa and his reindeer landed on the housetop, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. So I guess this person got to see Santa go down the chimney. So I'm going to put that down so we'll get out of the way. Let's see, where was I at? Here. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. So pretty much, I guess he was dressed in a red fur jacket, or not jacket, but like a big coat. And his clothes were, well, actually I already read that part. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, like his big old sack of toys that he always has. And he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. So he had a big round cheeks, or big red cheeks, and a big round red nose. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as snow. There he is right there. Santa Claus. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight with his work, and filled all the stockings, and then turned around with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, like this, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the dawn of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, as he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." So that's the original story of Santa Claus, back when he was called Saint Nick. And this is from Clement Clark Moore in 1823. Now I know our story this week was a little bit short, but it was still a pretty good story, I think. And that's the one that my grandma always read to me every single year before Christmas. Sorry about that. So, what did you think of the story, Pixel? I don't know what she thought. She's not going to tell me. And here's Conan, all dressed up just like St. Nicholas, or Santa Claus, or Father Christmas. And she's just looking at him. I hope that all of you out there who are watching my story time will have a lovely and wonderful and happy holiday season. And I hope everything goes good for you. And I'll see you all next year. Bye, everybody!